It's super stressful and tiring, but I really do love what I'm doing, so that, like, even when I'm tired, I want to do it.
Action!
I like to think about what was going on the year the grapes were growing, how the sun was shining, if it rained. I like to think of all the people that tended and picked the grapes, and if it's an old wine, many of them must be dead by now. I like how wine continues.
My name is Elizabeth Bailey, and my major is BA in Film Production and BA in Theater.
To me, acting is taking a person's story and telling it as truthfully as possible, using yourself as an instrument or a vessel or whatever you want to call it for that story.
Film is a little bit newer to me than theater because I've been doing theater since I was like 10 or 11 probably. They're not the same, but they coincide, and like when you're filming something, like knowing different angles, because I've done self-tapes and stuff like that, like knowing headroom and all of that stuff, like I knew that already coming into it. It wasn't, or lighting, things like that, like I'm not learning it from zero because I have that acting background and like doing self-tapes and stuff like that. So they're not the same, but they definitely help each other. I guess I just admitted that I like you. I can say that. I like you. I like you. And I guess I did just say it 3 times. So it was really nice to meet you the other night. We met at the, oh, right. This is Diane. Diane Wright. Mrs. Wright. Right. So it's Sunday the 4th at about 9 a.m. I'm sorry, I don't really know what I'm doing calling you at 9 a.m. or calling anyone at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. You're probably at church. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, it'd be fine if you were at church. I myself just got sort of turned off to it in like the 7th grade when I had this raging crush on my Sunday school teacher, and he was caught having an adulterous affair with the organ player. They were apparently caught having butt sex. I was devastated. I think I meant to say anal. Sex. Yeah, so this is Diane. It was really nice to meet you, I think is the gist of, yeah. Oh boy, was I drunk. Merlot does this thing to my forehead and to my pants. They fly off like, wow. So what I wanted to say is, I'm really lonely. And I think that you are too. Last night I woke up and I was holding my pillow like somebody might hold someone that they love. And I've been having these really weird dreams where I give birth to whole people. Big size ones. And they come out smarter than me. They can name all 50 states and the rivers that run through them. I'm free all week. Call me. Thank you. Within 5 years, I see myself having my bachelor's degrees. Since I'm not getting a BFA in acting, I'm just getting a BA in theater. I am interested in the future in getting possibly an MFA in acting, and hopefully I'm working, whether that be in theater or film, hopefully both, but whatever I can get, I'll take. I think being more organized and like keeping a list of what's happening when. So for Macbeth, we had rehearsal every day from 6 to 10, including Saturdays. So that was rough, trying to balance doing schoolwork and getting schoolwork done, and then also needing money. So trying to make the work schedule work with the rehearsal schedule and making sure you have everything memorized while also, like I said, keeping on top of your schoolwork and actual work. So that was really difficult. But luckily, my work schedule, I was able to work on Saturdays, and then I just told the people at rehearsal that I could be there like in the morning, and then I would have to work, and then I could go to rehearsal after work. So that worked out on Saturdays. On the weekdays, I made my work schedule on Monday, Tuesday, end before 6 o'clock, because that's when rehearsal was. So that's how that worked.
There's a certain type of therapy in acting and creating and filmmaking and watching people act and watching films and watching plays and watching musicals, things like that. There's so much that you learn about people in general and why people act the way they do and why people do the things or don't do the things that they do, and how people interact with one another and with the world around them and with themselves. There's so much that you learn from art, and that's why I love acting and filmmaking and watching things. It really transports you to another world, and it brings comfort when you're in a hard time, and it brings even more happiness when you're in a happy time.
Cut. I think it's really hard to find a balance between wanting to do stuff but then realizing that you can't do everything all the time. I used to babysit a lot, and then they moved away, and because they have friends, like some of their friends will now ask me like, oh, can you babysit? And I say no, because I don't feel like I have like a want to babysit, if that makes sense. So like learning to say no when it makes sense for you, or if I'm not gonna enjoy it, or if it's not gonna enhance what I'm already doing, then it's easier to say no to. But it's really hard to say no, especially like if you know somebody that wants you to do something, or if you're just like excited to do something but you have so much other stuff that you're doing. It's really hard to say no, because especially with acting and film and stuff, it's like you need to be, or it's thought that you need to be available to do anything all the time. And if you don't do that, then somebody else is gonna take your place, and you're replaceable with a second, like they call them types. Like if you go to an audition, there are 10 other people who are just like you, and if you can't do it, then someone else will easily take your place. So it's like you have to say yes to everything. But then also, which I'm still like learning how to do, you can't do everything. So learning that it's okay to say no, or learning it's okay to like prioritize different things and not having to do everything. For those struggling to navigate the pressures of fast-paced, competitive industries, it's critical to be aware of your limit, and learning to say no is not a sign of weakness, but a strategy to maintain your focus. Save your time and energy to focus on things you value.